Did I forget to unmute my mic? Oh, I didn't say anything important. Logs, when do we do another game show? I tried setting it up, but it was a pain in the ass. Here, see? Like, I can't get the new one to work very well. So I gave up. Oh, here we go. Newsroom. You have to wait for the intro to play again. I can't turn it up, but I don't want to. Anyways, let's look at some Yu-Gi-Oh memes. It's time for the Yu-Gi-Oh meme review. Are you guys ready for memes? First up, we have when you made fun of the big titty goth girl for playing Fire Fist, but she's activating Rekindling for the 3rd time. I'm sorry. Forgive me, mommy. This is so dumb. What is Rekindling? So let me explain. The cards they're using don't matter. The Yu-Gi-Oh side of this doesn't matter. The meme is that they're saying, I'm sorry, forgive me, mommy, because a big titty goth girl is mommy. That's the meme. The Yu-Gi-Oh part is irrelevant. What Rekindling is a card where you can special summon as many fire monsters with exactly 200 defense from your graveyard as possible. And you think, wow, 200 defense? Like, that's kind of, you know, a weird number, but a lot of fire monsters have 200 defense. Like, a vast majority of them do. But not all of them, just like half of them. So it summons a lot of fire monsters from the graveyard. And Fire Fist, there are Fire Fist monsters with 200 defense. Not a lot of them, but there are some of them. A Rekindling Searcher win? It's called Triple Tactics Thrust. Next up, me going way into depth into the insane intricacies of how modern Yu-Gi-Oh works. My GF, who knows nothing about the game, just trying to take an interest in my hobby by asking, so how does this game work anyway? Too real, cough cough, damage step rulings. Have you guys seen my damage step presentation? Go watch it on YouTube. You still don't understand the damage step? Well, that's a you problem. Is it new? No, I recorded like last year. Next up, women sending nudes, men sending nudes. It says ding dong. Men just send ding dong pics, whereas women do not. This is the meme. And then it's showing Zork because they revealed a new Zork card. And Zork is infamous for basically having a big dragon penis. I mean, ding dong. And Dark Magician Girl is very famous for other reasons that are very relevant to this meme. She's the reason all the Yu-Gi-Oh merch and stuff is just DM. Yeah, basically, because she's cute. I think it's because she's a cute girl with interesting design from a popular era of the show. Yeah, I think that explains it pretty well. I think that's it. You just admitted why people are simps? Well, I mean, like, you know, that's not a mystery. Next meme. Oh man. So we have this top image over here of Scrap Dragon. You're just a cheap freaking knockoff. And he says, oh, no. We're the upgrade. I'm not sure why this is here. That's the meme. I hope you guys understand it. Who plays Fear's No one. Okay, next meme, we have Wanda talking to Dr. Fantastic, or whatever the fuck his name is. The anime protagonist combos for a full episode, and he is loved by everyone. I combo for 2 minutes, and I'm what's wrong with the game. That doesn't seem fair. Is it Doctor Strange? Oh, Doctor Strange, excuse me. I am an absolute buffoon, an incorrigible moron. But basically, in the anime, if someone combos for a long time, it's entertainment. If you do it in Master Duel, oof, you're what's wrong with the game, you absolute buffoon. True though. Next up, we have Frieza. He's saying, top OCG player openly saying they would prefer to play a format without Max C. I'll ignore that. Who is Frieza? Oh my god, you guys need to know your Dragon Ball Z lore. I can't be explaining everything to you, incorrigible, amazing people who I love and appreciate. Who is he and why is he in the freezer? He's not in the freezer.
You guys are dumb.
It's Patchy the Pirate. He says, that's it? That was just a cheap tournament advertisement? So Konami had this big old countdown where they were counting down to like something that was going to be announced after the tournament was over. And the big announcement was that they were going to have a tournament next year in the OCG only in order to commemorate 25 years of Yu-Gi-Oh! You guys should know this, like, there's like a common thing when it comes to Japanese companies where they hype up announcements, and most of the time they're mediocre. Like, it's just mid. It's like a marketing tactic they do very, very regularly over there in the OCG, or like in Japan specifically, where they hype up like just every announcement, no matter how small it is. I mean, it's a countdown Japanese website that was announced for Japanese streams to the Japanese audience. I don't see nothing wrong here. I don't know why people are triggered. It's because the announcement was nothing. Duel. Next up, we have Spriggan's Captain Sargaz and Har Gene Raider Boss of Storms, and they're holding hands. They're Xyz decks, which are rare common quality in Master Duel. And their entire decks revolve around these field spell cards. You can't play Spriggans without their field spell card. Half their archetype searches out the field spell card. Same with generators. They also revolve around their field spell card. And their field spell cards, which are so important to the archetype, is only rare quality. Har isn't an NAR, neither is Captain Sargaz, I think. Maybe he is, I don't know. We're talking about their field spells though, not the cards on screen. Oh my god, look at this one. He says, thanks Hank. You really taught me a lot about propane and propane accessories. And I can tell you what, young man, I don't think I know what a heart of the cards is, but I know for certain you've got the heart of a Texan. This is exactly how Kingdom's Hearts is like. This is insinuating that it's the end of an episode in which they probably had a crossover, and Hank from King of the Hill was very much into propane and propane accessories, which is, it sounds like a misnomer, because like, who cares about propane? But Hank does. He is canonically sexually attracted to propane. Nobody loves propane more than Hank. And then Yugi is all about the heart of the card, so they probably taught each other lessons in this imagined crossover. The TheDuelLogs, I'm just telling you guys King of the Hill lore. I'm just an expert on King of the Hill. Like, you know, I didn't make it, you guys did. Next up, we have a meme. It's our Artorias, King of the Noble Knights, and he says, "Do you star running?" This is so small, I can't read this. Emperor Charles says, "Hey, Artorias, can I invite my new friends to the group? Did you start turning Fire Warriors into support again?" And he says, "No." And he says, ... Oh no, this isn't Fire Warrior support. And for Noble Knights is all about Fire Warriors, because like that's the only good version of Noble Knights, and like there's new card. Well, this is a Fire Warrior. Like literally 3 of these cards are Fire Warriors. Only one of them is not. No, Hare the Sword Mikano is a Fire Warrior. And then Battling Boxer Uppercut is a Fire Warrior. Why do they keep printing Noble Knight support? Just give up because Konami, like, loves Noble Knights. I'm sure if they could, they would marry Noble Knights. Like, Noble Knights is Konami's favorite archetype ever. Next up, we have Master Duel, and then a guy getting Handshake, and he is a non-competitive player when Platinum becomes the new Gold, and then he gets an achievement which says, reach the Platinum rank or higher in Standard. Because it used to be that Platinum rank in Master Duel was kind of hard to get to, and then they've added 2 new ranks since then, so Platinum is basically the new Gold rank now, which means you can't de-rank from it. And the achievement has not been updated to reflect the ease in which Platinum has become. Next up, we have a big guy. He's a veteran Yu-Gi-Oh player trying to introduce new players to the game, and then we have a new player over here listening. He says, "Okay, so spell cards can be activated right away from your hand, but traps need to be placed down for a turn first." You know, he's explaining the basics of the basics to this new player, but he's not telling this new player about all the other stuff. Hand traps, inherent summons, board breakers, 5 different summoning mechanics, missing the timing, problem-solving card text. Teaching this game is a nightmare. Built-in summons. This stuff sounds made up. It's really not that complicated. You have conditions before the colon, you have costs and prerequisites before the semicolon, and then you have peer effects after the semicolon or colon. Or if there's no semicolon or colon, then it just happens without a chain, like King Kali Yuga or Azathoth.
It's so easy.
Do you guys understand how this meme works? We have pendulum decks and then other decks. Pendulum decks is a huge ass book. Other decks, very small, very tiny little decks. And the reason for that is pendulum decks have a completely second line of text to them, which like inherently doubles the amount of text they have. So there is so much reading when it comes to pendulum decks as opposed to other decks, which is why you have such a big book, a big fat meaty veiny book, and then you have a tiny little one that you hide. You make sure no one else is in the bathroom. Next up, we have cost versus effect. Send from graveyard versus discard. New Yu-Gi-Oh players trying to play Dark World, and he's crying because he doesn't understand the cost versus effects, or sent from hand to the graveyard versus discard. Because you see, for Dark Worlds, they only trigger their effects when they're discarded by a card effect, which means they have to be discarded after the semicolon, not before it. If they discard before the semicolon, then it counts as a cost and not effects. And the new players, they don't understand that, they're crying. But there's also card effects that don't discard, they send from the hand to the graveyard. which do not trigger their effects even if the send happens after the semicolon, because it's technically not a discard. A discard is a keyword. Discards send from the hand to the graveyard, sure, but they don't have to go specifically to the graveyard. So if there's like a macrocosmos on the field which banishes all cards that would go to the graveyard, you can still use the effect of a discard because it will just get banished instead. It's like the difference between Ash Blossom and Max C. Max C requires you to send the card from your hand to the graveyard to activate its effect, whereas Ash Blossom requires a discard. So you can use Ash Blossom under Macrocosmos, but you can't use Max C under Macrocosmos. So basically cost has to be paid exactly. Forbidden Droplets is also blocked by being used in Macrocosmos. Yeah, because Forbidden Droplets sends cards to the graveyard as well. Hello Professor Logs, hello there. I should make a video on this, cost versus effects. It'd be a great video, right? Next up, we have, this is the Lord of the Rings meme. We have Battle Phase, activate evenly matched. I used my Omni Negate to stop your evenly matched. And it says, oh, you have one Omni Negate? Yes. What about second evenly matched? You see, the context of this meme is they're talking about second breakfast. And in this case, they're substituting breakfast for evenly matched, because they go into the end of the battle phase and they use evenly matched from their hand to get rid of the entire field, but they stop it. And you see, most meta decks only have one spell trap negate. If they have multiple negates, usually it's for monster cards. So that's why if you have two evenly matches, you can break most competitive boards. Oh my god, look at this one. Be the Egyptian the Japanese think you are. Yugi, Beerus, Shadi. We have the porn meme. We have the dude from JoJo. I don't know who the guy in the bottom right is. Simply become Beerus. Next up, oh, that's it. That's all of them. That's all of the memes. I hope you guys enjoyed the meme review. It was amazing. I had so much laughs. Hearty laughs. My cheeks are numb from laughing so much at those hilarious memes. Terrible as always. They got better at the end, but I didn't laugh at all. It was so funny. Yu-Gi-Oh memes are so freaking funny. I gotta use the restroom. I'll be right back, and then we'll do a tier list.